Morning ladies, welcome to another coffee and card. So we're on card number 3 of this set, so it's 3 of the 3rd set. Getting lots of orders in for the next set. I've actually given away I've given the birthday card to my nephew with the one that I did with the happy birthday, but if you want to join that the next coffee and card, just give me a shout and I'll send you the details. Okay, so right, back to hand penned petals. So as I say, we're on card number 3 and we've just got some 2-step stamping to do here, and I've just added in an extra couple of colours. So you've got your Blushing Bride, and then I've added in I'm gonna have a look at it. I can't remember. Yeah, Mossy Meadow. I've used Mossy Meadow, but I've stamped it off first and then stamped it onto the card, and then I've used I think that's Daffodil Delight, just to add a different colour. But if you want to do that as the Blushing Bride, you can. I might actually use the Pale Papaya today, which is more like this one, which if you're doing the product share, the 2021 to 23 product share, then you may already have the Pale Papaya. Right, so let's open up the pack, and again we're decorating the envelopes. I did a class with my sister on Sunday, and she's doing this on all her envelopes now. I think it's a really pretty decoration that you can put on your envelope and it just shouts you've got something pretty in there. Right, so I'll just take out of the bag. This should be the same as your pack. Yeah. There we go, so put that over there. Right, so this has been cut out from the Tasteful Tags die set, and we've got some nice gold ribbon, a few little, I think they're the champagne rhinestones, and then 3 pieces of designer series paper, 2 for the card, 1 for the envelope, and then 2 pieces of basic white, 1 for inside, 1 for on the front. So let's just double check before I disappear. I've given you 1 for inside, so either that or I've got 2 and somebody's missing. Let's hope I've given you 1 for the inside. Right, and then the envelope as well. So we'll start with the stamping. So videoing. Sorry, the 15-year-old showing his face there. Right, so we're going to stamp on the label here, and I'm going to use Memento Black stamped off for the outline, and then the Blushing Bride. I'm going to use the Pale Papaya to see what this looks like, and I'm actually going to use Pool Party on these leaves, I think. Maybe Pool Party. I'll have a think. Right, so I've got the Pale Papaya and the Blushing Bride. As I say, you can do them. You'll have the Mossy Meadow from the product share, but any green, to be honest, will do. Green goes with green goes with green, so that's absolutely fine. Or you could just spotlight the flowers and not do the leaves. There's another way of doing it as well. Right, there we are, thinking while we're working. And my Memento Tuxedo black ink, so I'm going to start with that, and we're using the different flower this time. We're using this one. So we used that one in the past, and I've used it as a thanks, but it's such a small, you know, these little sentiments, any of them would fit on there and look really, really nice. So, see, I've been playing. So that is cut out using the dies in the set. Playing lots. I just haven't found a home for them yet. Right, let's take our acetate off. Okay. I'll get my stamp. We're not needing the dies today, so I'll pop them to one side. Right. Is that going to fit on there? Let's just see. That does. Just about. So that's on a D block. It just about fits on the D block, but I am going to go to the bigger one, or you can use your Stamparatus obviously if you've got one of those. So this one is the E block, so comfortably fits on there, in fact possibly too big. And we're just going to stamp with the Memento ink. Again, not as juicy as our normal one, so you need to give it a good go. And then I just need a piece of scrap because I am planning on using this grid sheet for all my videos today. I'm having a bit of a video sesh today. So we've got some scrap. There we go. Yeah, all stuck together. Just going to stamp that off to give me the light grey, or you can use a grey stamp set, stamp pad even. Pop that straight, and I want that in the middle. You're not going to get the whole stamp on, so I'm leaving a little bit. I'm trying to keep the whole flower on, and just some of the leaves are just going to drop off the side on that left hand side there. Much quieter today. When I was videoing the other day, the cars tooting all over the place. It was really weird. And there we go. So lovely grey. I am really loving my newly discovered grey. So, and then you can either colour them in with pens or watercolour pencils. I'm going to use the stamps that come with the set today. So, right. So we'll use this one. So this is for the larger flower. So I do have loads of blocks from when I was doing in-person classes. But this one fits nicely on a C block. And as I said, we're going to use the Blushing Bride on this one. One of my original stamp pads from when I started doing, well, buying Stampin' Up before I was even a demonstrator. I bought that. Right, so again, you would stand up, get that over the top exactly where you want it. I think that's roughly where it should be. It's a very loose stamp. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly where it should be. There we go. Perhaps could have done with being a little bit higher. So, and then I'm going to stamp the flower in the Pale Papaya. So, and that's the same middle-sized flower we used in last week, which I cannot find. There it is. Stuck on the acetate. Right, don't put it on that way, Linda. It won't work. So I'm thinking it's like that. So I'm putting it straight on the block. Changing my inks. Again, you could stamp it in the blush. In fact, you know, I think I am going to stick to the colours you've got. So I'm going to actually stamp it with the Blushing Bride, but I'm going to stamp it off first. There. So we've got a much paler flower, so it'll have just a hint of colour in there. There we go. And I'm actually going to... can't make my mind up what to do about the leaves, whether to stamp them or to leave them. As I say, I think all of you will have a green that would work. So I think I'm going to go for a mint macaron actually, because I think this is a mint macaron here. Let's put that away. And I'll get the mint macaron out when I can find it. The mint macaron actually came back in again. It had been an in colour and went out and came back in again, but I'd actually kept my stamp set because I just love it so much. Yeah, mint macaron. Just jade would work really well. Just following the patterns of the leaves here. Again, it's just an outline. I'm trying to get the whole of the stamp down would have helped. There we go. So, possibly this block's a bit big for this stamp. So I'm just going to do that on that one. Turning it round to do this one. There. And then, so, I'm just going to take off, you'd probably do it with a cloth rather than your finger, just that top bit of ink before I stamp, so that we're actually just stamping the leaf, not the flower itself. And then I did about up to where the gap is in the stamp. I just inked that up just lightly on the edge, and then just filled in the bud just there. Okay, right. So I think that looks really pretty there with the mint macaron next to the leaves. On the leaves rather. I mean, all these colours are in the DSP, but I just think the mint macaron's nice, but any pale green would work beautifully. Right, so now it's quite nice, easy card. We're just going to build it up. So it's a pretty standard layout that you see all over the place. So I wouldn't like to say who did it first, because I've seen it everywhere. Right, so I've given you a piece of the polka dot, and I've made it slightly longer than it needs to be so that you can trim it to the exact size of the card. I'll just pop that on first. And I've used both sides of the same paper here. I was on a training day with Julie Kettlewell, who's my upline, and one of the challenge cards we had to do was to use, you know, both sides of the same piece of DSP. So we're all rushing around like mad, and then most of us thought, you know, we've got one already. We didn't need to think about that one because we've all got one already. It was using the Sweet as a Peach, which I'm hoping to either bring along as a product class or as a coffee and cards. The Sweet as a Peach suite is exactly as it says. It's really pretty, and it's a stamp set with matching paper like this one, and matching dies as well. And it is lots of subtle colours. That's the word I was looking for, as we've got with this one as well. So I've just popped that on, and then I'm getting my big scissors and I'm just going to trim it so it's the right size. So you trim with the bit you're keeping on the left, if you are right-handed. Obviously if you're left-handed you do it the other way, and then you're just using the card, the white card, as a guide, and just trimming off that extra bit so it's perfect on the card. Okay, and then we're adding this little piece. I'm thinking it's that way up, and that's just overlapping a little bit and then equally spaced on the edge there, so you can bring it down if you want. So it's further down. I think I might actually on this one. Let's have a look. So on this one I've done like about just over half a centimetre. This one I'm just bringing it in that's more like just over a centimetre. And then let's just see if this, oh, I think that might hide too much of it. It hides virtually all the patterns, so let's not do that. That's it. It's just all trial and error. Every card I design, it's trial and error. So, and nothing's certain until you've glued it. So I'm going to pop that over on this side, just close to the edge of the card, about just over half a centimetre away, with an equal border there and there. So it just overlaps a little bit with your DSP. And then we're going to be able to fit our little sentiment in here. So I'll get that out and find it. There we go. So now we've got thanks, and we know the drill. Straight. I lined up the top of the T as I took that as being the straight bit. Check it fits. It does. My Memento black. Give it a good smudge. Now I've got it, can you see I've got ink on the side of the pad there? Don't like that, so I'm just taking that, or on the block, I'm just taking that off, because if I rock even slightly, that's going to go on the front of the card, and then we're starting again. So block straight, card straight, sentiment straight, and just put it in the middle of that area there. Such a gorgeous font. So. Right, and then the ribbon I've actually put round and then added on the centerpiece. So I am going to get some of my tear and tape and my ribbon. So I'm giving you plenty. I'm just going to sort of stretch out that fold a bit, although it is going to be under there, so you're not going to see it. And I think roughly about there. So that's what, a couple of centimetres up from the bottom of that one. If I do that, put some tape on, roughly where it's going to go. Yes, ink everywhere. That's because it's still open. Do as Linda says, not as Linda does. Right, and then lost the end. Another piece of tear and tape just on the edge there as well. Okay. So pop one off and stick it down. Check you're happy with it. I think that moved up a little bit when I turned it over, so I'm just going to take it down a touch. Yeah, I'm happy with that there. Right, so just going to do that, so roughly line it up. Roughly line it up with my grid paper so it's straight. Because sometimes with the DSP it can make it look like it's not, and it is. Just moving this all the time. There we go. Right, so hold that down. Add your ribbon, and I am going to trim that. As ever with the ongoing saga of Linda's ribbon scissors, they've disappeared. So I'm going to have to use my sewing scissors, which are a little bit longer than you really need. And then that's going to be placed on the front of your card base. So, just going to add some glue. It's going fast today. Because I kept it upside down overnight because it is getting a bit light. Oh, just excuse me 1 minute, there's someone at the door. And we're back. I'm the only one in today, so I have to do the rushing, which is great for filming. Except, oh, I keep forgetting Sydney's off. He managed to scald his foot last night. Messing with hot water as he does. So he's struggling to get his shoes on. Poor love. And it's looking a lot better than it did. It was only a small little burn, but it was just where his shoes rubbed, so he's snoozing most of the day. Right, we'll get some dimensionals. So, and I'm putting those. It's quite a big card, so I'm actually putting one in the middle as well as in the corners. Okay, so trying to take off the one that's already off. And that is just going to go on here, just towards the bottom, in the middle. Actually, no, I'm going to put it towards the left-hand side. Then you can see more of the patterned designer series paper. There we go, happy with that. And then we should have somewhere, there we go, 3 little champagne gems. So I've put the larger one on the smaller flower, and then the others I've put on a couple of the flowers. So there we go. So let's just pop the larger one and get that on the pokey tool. Does not want to go on the pokey tool. It's happy to go on my nail, but not the pokey tool. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to pop that in the middle there. Should probably have done that before I put it on the dimensional. So, and then I think this little one here at the bottom of my DSP, which I'll show you in a minute when this decides to come off. There we go. So that one there at the bottom. And then I think I'll just put a random one here. There's sort of more pattern on the piece I use there, whereas this one doesn't. So I'm just going to put a random one in the sort of less decorated area. And I shall... Whoop, running off there. Just pop it there. Okay. So, and then we just need to decorate the envelope. So, all right, so you've got the hang of this by now, haven't you, ladies? So I'm just going to pop the glue on the envelope flap, rather. Okay, so let's just do that. Ooh. There we go. And I'm just going to just glue that down, just smudge the glue around a little bit. There we go. So the piece is just slightly longer than your envelope. And I'll just get my scissors and I'll snip this out. So you can either use your snips or a longer pair of scissors, and you just again the envelope on the left so you can see where the blade is cutting, and then go all the way around, just following the line of the envelope, as you can see. And then turning the envelope and your scissors to go around the corner, more envelope than scissors, and then following down right to the end there. So, and there we go, yet another beautifully decorated envelope. So, do you know, I'm sat here with a cup of coffee next to me and not had any of it. So there you go. So that's the card. So that's with the Blushing Bride and Mint Macaron. And this one is with the Blushing Bride, Daffodil Delight, and the stamped off Mossy Meadow. I hope you've enjoyed today, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.